Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Twist, episode 273. It is November 16th, 2016, and yeah, you might notice I'm assuming, sorry, I'm gonna adjust a little here. Assuming everything goes well, so far it has, fingers crossed. There will be 2 shows uploaded this week. This week's and last week's, because, yeah, they're computer issues, I'll tell you later. So, grab your coffee, grab your knitting, and let's get started, right? So what I have on the needles, I only worked on 3 things this week. I did no cross stitching, so there will not be a pokey things section. First thing up, in my large cupcake bag from Stitch by Jessalou, I have my hashtag for Megan, K-A-L, shawl. And oh, goodness, sorry. I'm half asleep here. The pattern is the Trillion by Martina Baim. The Trillion is part of her Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. It's got this little fishnet edge on it. I am knitting it up on a slightly larger needle than the pattern calls for. I like it, the fabric I'm getting better on a 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter needle. And I've actually done quite a lot on, well, for me, done quite a lot on this. I've done about 2 inches. The yarn is from Megan from the Cyborgs Craft Room. It is her Isocolate base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend, and the colorway is Ain't No Party Like a Cyborg Party, which then you can see, that's it in the ball. Kind of looks like funfetti cake. And then the actual shawl itself, even more so, I think, but I'm weird that way. Excuse me. So there's my progress marker dangling down right here. So yeah, about 2 inches, maybe slightly more. I don't know why this is kind of, you know, you have projects that will speak to you occasionally, that it's like you won't want to touch something for a while and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I must knit on that. Well, that was kind of this week, and I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like picking it up, where in the past few weeks it's just been kind of like, don't want to. So that got some progress on it. Just forging on ahead, the rows keep getting longer and I still have quite a bit of yarn left. Second thing on the needles is the Disappointing Stripes sweater for Tara. The pattern's the Playful Stripes cardigan by Alana Dacus, which is a wonderful pattern. The yarn I'm using is Lisa Souza's, oh, do I even have a tag? I didn't, I'm so unprepared. Yes, I have a tag. It is the, it's one I tore, so we'll see if we can piece it together here. There we go. Lisa Souza's Blueface Leicester worsted. I'm using Gray Blade for the main color of the sweater, and then this Joseph's coat that I showed you the tag on. That is the little contrasty stripes and also going to be the yoke of the sweater. So I'm still working on the sleeves here. Still, my daughter has orangutan arms. I have no one to blame but myself. And so I'm lengthening, even though I'm doing a 9-month size and I'm using that for all of the circumference bits because of my gauge, I'm making the 6-year-old length and then adding extra length on top of that. So I believe the pattern for the 6-year-old length calls for the sleeves to be 11 inches from, see where those little eyelets are? God, I love the new camera. I love it. Being able to actually see. So where those eyelets are, that's gonna be the turning row. That'll make the little picot edge. There's the Joseph's coat color. And then the Gray Blade calls for 11 inches. My Tara, from her underarm to her wrist, is already 11.5 when I measured her, so I'm making the sleeves 13 inches long. I'd be able to stop right now if my child did not have such long arms, because I'm at 11.5 inches. So I have 1.5 inches to go, straight knitting on 2 sleeves, and then I'll be able finally to join them to the body of the sweater. Excuse me. Currently knitting that on a US 7, a 4.5 millimeter needle. And yeah, I figured out my issue I had last week. I'd knit across one sleeve, but not the second one. So if you're watching these back to back, you'll be able to see my mistake and then see, oh, hey, she fixed it, cool. So I got about 1.5 inches of knitting on each sweater. So I go, hey, 3 inches total, that's awesome. Have another 1.5 inches on each sleeve to go, and then I'll be able to stop. So, okay, final thing that I've been knitting on, and I just knit on this Monday night, basically, hanging out in my small Jessalou bag. So if you're ever wanting to purchase from Stitch by Jessalou and you're wondering about the size difference, this is her small box bag. Side by side, this is her large box bag. So the small box bag is perfect for socks. The large box bag is more like shawl size, I would say. Shawl size, maybe a small child sweater. You'd have enough space in there for that. But her construction is wonderful. They are worth every penny. So hanging out my small Stitch by Jessalou cupcake bag, I have my pink, as Tara calls it. I'm knitting these up. It's socks for Tara in Lollipop yarn that I purchased at my sister knits. It is her gripe base, or gripes base. Oh, focus camera, I did not like that. Yeah, it's an 80-20 superwash merino and nylon blend in the Some Like It Hot colorway, which, as you can see, the tag says 6 rows of smooch and 6 rows of I Feel Pretty. I believe smooch would be the hot pink. It's really washed out for some reason. This is like blazing hot pink. I have to work on the lighting, I'm sorry. But my pink, so I think the smooch is this one and the I Feel Pretty is the speckled paler pink in between. So last time you saw these a few weeks ago, I had finished the first sock, cast on the second sock, and then I was going to put it down and finish Gabe's first sock, so they'd both be done about the same time. The trials of having twins. If you give one something, you better have something for the other one. So I had cast on and pulled it out Monday night and went, yay, it's already cast on. And I joined in a circle, being careful not to twist, as all the patterns say. I didn't twist it, but I started doing the knit 2, purl 2 rib around, so on the pattern, which is the Genevieve's Tube Socks by Jasmine and Gigi from the Knitmore Girls. And I got to the end, I'm like, why is it having me end on a knit 2? The other one wasn't like that, and I counted, and I'm like, 58, that's right. 58? Yeah, I totally should have cast on 56. So I had to rip out a whole round of knitting, and I just yanked it off the needles, ripped everything back, recast on, start over. And why did I start knitting on this while I was talking to you? I don't know. But I am 3.5-ish stripes in on the second sock. See, nice stretchy 2x2 rib. Knitting on a US 1, a 2.25 millimeter needle. And yeah, aside from me not being able to count, or thinking I was able to count and being confident / cocky with that, overconfidence, it'll kill you every time. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep knitting on this while we talk. Like I said earlier, I have nothing for pokey things. I haven't touched my cross stitch this week. Other things have been happening. Stuff needed to get done around the house, so I haven't pulled things out during nap time. And yeah, so that's it. So we'll move right into various and sundry. The computer's working! Yay! Nightmare. Oh my goodness. So here's the deal. For those of you who haven't been following, I'll give a quick synopsis. My computer was running Windows Vista, which I realize is ancient and out of date, and yeah. So Windows 10 was just released, and I was like, oh, I should be able to... Okay, go back. Computer running Windows Vista, works fine. Power supply died, got that replaced. Flip camera that I record on started to die. Sorry, one of the dogs just took off. and now we'll only record like less than 30 minutes at a time. That's it. So when it should have space to record 2 hours worth of content. So went and got new camera. Recorded last week's show. Discovered that the uploading software that came with said new camera was not compliant with Windows Vista. Would not work. The software would not even load to my computer. So I freaked out, went on the Microsoft website, purchased Windows 10. Windows 10 will not install on my computer from Windows Vista. Nice. After I bought it. I know I could have gotten it for free this summer, but it wouldn't let me for whatever reason. I don't know. I hate technology. So I found this is bad. This is really bad. So Windows 7 is no longer available for purchase through anywhere. But I found I don't want to say a bootleg website. I found a website offering Windows 7 for free. I did run it through my antivirus. Don't worry, nothing bad is happening here. Got Windows 7 on the computer. Fabulous. No problems there. It just took a few hours. Tried opening up Internet Explorer, and it tells me Internet Explorer is so far out of date because it stopped doing updates because after a certain level it no longer supported Windows Vista, so got that updated. God, I hope I got it updated. Managed to upload the software for this camera. It is all on the computer. Hopefully this week I will, as soon as I'm done, hit the stop button here, I will be able to upload both last week's show and this week's show. Fingers crossed, or you'll be seeing a very irate message from me on Instagram and on Ravelry. So keep your eyes peeled there. I'm very sorry about the delays, you guys. You know I like to put out a weekly show, so this is bugging the heck out of me. So, since I don't have pokey things, and through all the technological difficulties, I figured we'd better do some questions out of the Any Questions thread. We haven't done that for a couple weeks. Excuse me, let me get a drink here. First up, from Nanranda. She posted this about 2 months ago, early September, said, "Hi Karen, I have enjoyed your podcast for many years and appreciate all the time and effort you dedicate to it. In the field trip episode, you showed us your craft room. I was wondering what type and brand of cabinet you used for yarn storage. Did you have to purchase the glass doors separately or did it come as a unit? I'm in the midst of setting up a craft room. Any suggestions would be appreciated. A side note, I just moved to Fort Collins from the Chicago area. I love all the amazing knitting stores. If you're ever headed up this way, please send me a message if you have time to meet." Might be a couple years, Nancy. Hate to tell you. But as to the cabinets, I did look it up. I honestly, it's been so many years since I bought them, I couldn't remember what they were or the company I got them from. I think what had originally happened back in Omaha, I had planned to purchase I did a Google search for glass front bookcases or bookcases with glass doors. There's tons and tons of options out there, and I'd originally gone on the IKEA website. Put everything in my cart, went to order, and it went to estimate shipping. The shipping would have been more than the cabinets were, and they couldn't guarantee when I would have them. It's like whenever we have a truck filled that's headed your way, it could be tomorrow, it could be 4 months from now. Why am I paying you for shipping if it's going to take you 4 months potentially to get something here? That's ridiculous. I mean, slow boat overseas takes less time than that. So, and that's usually the cheap route. Anyway, did not go with IKEA cabinets. Now that we've got an IKEA in driving distance, that can change. But since I have these, what I ended up finding was a place called homedecorators.com. I believe the actual name of the business is Home Decorators Collection, and it's it's a division of Home Depot, actually, which I hadn't known when I purchased the stuff. For the same amount that 2 bookshelves from IKEA would have cost me, I got the 4 cabinets that I have in there which ended up qualifying for free shipping, and everything was delivered in like 2 days. So I highly recommend them. I went to look, I believe the style that I got, and again, this was years ago, were the Oxford bookcases, and they only have those with the glass fronts in black. And they don't have them in the 24-inch widths that I had purchased. They have them in the, I think, a 36-inch width that has the glass fronts on them. They have them as open front bookcases without doors, in both a light colored wood, I think they called it light maple, black or white. But if you're looking for the doored version, I believe it only comes in black anymore. But it's an option for you. Honestly, there's so many places that sell them. Just Google, look around. I saw stuff just now when I was trying to find what the website was. There you have ones at Target, obviously IKEA if you're near an IKEA. Which, duh, you said you moved to Fort Collins. You're in driving distance to IKEA. Come on, if I can drive there, you can drive there. If you have a big enough car. Let me think, what else was there? There were a few others. Honestly, I Googled and there was like 18 pages of books. I think I said bookcases with glass front doors or glass doors on it. So, hope that helps, that you're able to find something that you like. Second one, I'm going to do two today. Esalaza, who is, let's see, Erica, over but Esalaza on Ravelry. What other cross-stitch projects are you thinking of doing once you're finished with your current projects? I've already purchased what's going to be my next one. I need to get the supplies for it. I figure if I'm doing this big, huge sampler for Tara, I kind of need to do one for Gabe too. So I believe the Etsy store I went to was Wee Little Stitches, and they have a superhero alphabet sampler. So all the letters of the alphabet, and next to each one is a cute little figure of a superhero that starts with that letter of the whole alphabet. It's going to be pretty massive. I still need to get the fabric and the floss for it, but that's going to be my next big one. Beyond that, I don't know. I might do the autumn sampler from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery to go with my winter sampler. They had a spring, summer, winter, and fall one that has the 20 or 25, I think 25 little squares that have a little thing inside of it. So I have one for each season, so I might start on one of those next as well. I know I have the thread for the fall one, so that might be my next project as well. And I think that's it. Hopefully that answered your questions, guys, and fingers crossed that this thing actually works and uploads, and we'll have a show this week, because I'm starting to get pretty frustrated with it. So hang in there. Thank you everyone for keeping watching, and until next week, hopefully, happy knitting.